Another week, another roguelike game in VR. But Vex Mage is coming from the team at Fast Travel Games. They have published this title, made by a small indie dev studio, and Fast Travel have a great reputation in VR. So, what makes Vex Mage unique? Stick around and you'll find out. So yeah, Vex Mage is another roguelike. We get new roguelikes in VR all the time. It seems to be the genre that is in VR right now. And so spending your hard-earned bucks on a new roguelike is going to take some convincing. I'm sure you already have many of them. But Vex Mage is good. It's doing things very different to many of the roguelikes you might have played so far. The key selling point of Vex Mage is the casting system. You have a small selection of spell types to choose from, and they can be used individually on each hand, and then combined to create a different spell. So, for example, you could take what they call the precision spell and have 2 precision bullets on each hand, which are slow, kind of like snipering, I guess, and then combine them to make something a little faster. Or you can take the brutish, direct approach and have a weapon or a spell on each hand that has rapid fire and does less damage, but is very rapid. Or you can combine this precision and rapid fire to create yet another spell type. So the options that you have available to you are quite varied, and you have to choose which goes on which hand before you begin each level. Now, the game has been designed, while it is a roguelike, it has been designed that a lot of the content is available right from the start. It's just buried. You have to experiment and find it. There are unlocks and things that happen as you go through the game, but it's not like restrictive gatekeeping here. You can go out, do a few levels, explore, try things up, and get some variation right from the start. The combat itself takes place in small arenas, and we need to point out here that Vex Mage is super fast-paced. It's almost like the combat sections from modern Doom games. You realise you've got into an arena now, and you've got to take out hundreds upon hundreds of enemies, and Vex Mage kind of plays like those moments. You are in small confined arenas and there are power-ups available, but there are also floods of enemies coming towards you, and you must prioritise which enemy is going to be taken out first. And also, you need to prioritise which kind of spell system you're going to use in order to take them down. For example, if you have hordes of enemies coming towards you on a ground level, maybe a scatter shot is better, a wide-angle scatter shot to do damage to all of them all in one go. Whereas flaming skulls firing bullets at you from distance in the sky, if you're precise, maybe that precision shot is better. Now, talking about how fast-paced the game is, it runs. It runs very, very quickly. It's a kind of game that, if you're not used to VR, maybe are on the side of caution here, because, I never personally felt any kind of simulation sickness at all, but I could see how it might trip some less experienced people up. It moves very similarly to the recently launched Titan Isles, which is available up here. And in that, you have not only ground momentum, but air momentum. You can leap into the air and then control your descent, often double jump in or even triple jump in midair to keep yourself aloft and firing down at enemies that may be on the ground, or getting up to enemies in the sky and firing at them on their own level. The variety of movement options and the pace at which it all runs at is remarkable. It really is pushing what we can do in VR, what we can do on the Meta Quest headsets in particular. Beyond what we've seen before, again, only really Titan Isles has come close to having this kind of high-tempo movement consistently throughout the experience. And so Vex Mage lays its cards on the table. It puts everything out there in front of you. It has a system that allows you to experiment and explore the combat in a variety of different ways. It has a variety of enemies that require different kinds of aggression in order to take out. And it's an arena-based shooter. You're not going to be exploring expansive levels or taking on big new missions and pursuing towers or any kind of like fantasy archetypes, even though it is a high fantasy stylized game. What it is a high-octane action shooter with some incredibly fast-paced movement. So if you're looking for a roguelike that is going to do things a bit different, Vex Mage is definitely going to be up your street. And what's more, the game looks really good. Some of the enemy models, that maybe we could do with a bit more variety, but what is there looks great. It's all really polished and feels like, although I'm not sure how the lighting system is done, it does feel like it's all working in semi-real time, which is unusual on a MetaQuest headset. As such, while the arenas are small and the enemy variety, at least to begin with, isn't that great, it all looks really, really polished. What's not polished, however, is the menu system, and this definitely needs some work. There are minor issues through things like the text boxes appearing in the lower quadrant of the screen, and thus when you move your head to try and read them, they simply keep moving down. So you'll often miss like the last couple of lines of text boxes that appear. But a bigger issue is upon completion or failure on each of your arena battles. In my experience, the menu showing, I assume, your score and leaderboards and so on appears so far in a distance that it's completely illegible. I don't know why this was happening. I had it on multiple runs, every time I played the game, in fact, and could not access whatever options it was giving me. My only way to progress was to quit the game, exit back to the MetaQuest home, and relaunch. Thankfully, all my progress had been saved, so it wasn't that big a deal. But even so, this is something that needs to be fixed, or someone needs to tell me what I've been doing wrong, because every run I had, when it ended, I could not make out what was on screen and had to quit the game. So with Fast Travel Games and support, you can expect that there's going to be future content for Vex Mage and more to come along those lines. But frankly, this menu system needs to be fixed first. This post-game, post-run screen where you're leveling up and powering up and possibly, seeing high scores and seeing how you compete against the world or your friends or whatever it may be, I don't know, because I couldn't see it. Even when I had my room scale turned on and allowing me to walk up close to where the menu boards were positioned, they were still too far. It was almost as if they were in my neighbour's house rather than in my own room. So Vex Mage is a really good, different style of roguelike that is really fast-paced and very enjoyable. But there are some really simple oversights that need to be addressed before this game can be recommended to everyone. If you are a roguelike fan and you want something a bit different, then go ahead and jump into Vex Mage now, knowing that you're going to encounter some issues with this menu, potentially. If you're someone that wants something a bit more polished and wants to make sure that it's going to get right first time, wait for the first couple of updates and make sure that these things are fixed before you jump in.